Kemi Badenoch wakes up this morning adjusting to a new life as leader of the opposition. Winning the leadership elections likely to be the easiest of the challenges she faces. She now needs to rebuild her party from the disaster of the general election, from a record low number of MPs, record low share of the vote, and record low party membership. Julia Lopez is, for now at least, the shadow culture secretary and has been a long-time ally of the new leader. She joins me now. Good morning.
Good morning, Joe.
By the way, have you had your conversation about what your new job's going to be yet?
I haven't, no.
OK. What are you looking for? What do you hope to be able to do?
My main priority is to be part of the team that rebuilds the Conservative Party. Kemi wants to lead a renewal of the whole movement from top to bottom. So I will serve in whichever capacity she thinks I am best suited. It's the mission for me rather than the position.
Just so that viewers are clear about that, we did ask her, why is she not here? Why are you here, not her? Not to be rude to you or anything.
I believe she's doing Laura Koonsberg, but I don't want that to be seen as a slight to you, Trevor. You know that she respects you very highly.
Oh, she prefers the state broadcaster to the independent media, does she? Is that a new Conservative position?
No.
OK. I just asked you that as Shadow Culture Secretary. You should know about this. Now, look, she said yesterday that the Tories have to start telling the truth. What is her truth about why you took such a hammering at the last election?
I think we lost our way in terms of our principles. I think people saw us as a group of people who are managing the country rather than setting out a vision for where we wanted to take it. I think that we had got tired from our time in government, and I think that we need to go back to first principles about what conservatism is about and how we apply that to the challenges of the 21st century.
Well, that's a very interesting piece of diagnosis, because she was very fulsome in her praise for Rishi Sunak, who actually would probably be regarded as the arch technocrat, the arch manager. If she can't tell the truth about his failings and say openly, problem was Rishi might have been a good manager but not a leader, how can we expect her to tell the truth about anything else?
I think Rishi took on the leadership of the party at a very, very difficult time. There'd been a leadership contest and then a very short prime ministership. And I think everybody was grateful for him taking on the role, but it was very difficult for him to be able to reset the party after all that had gone before. He had a short window before the general election, and it was a difficult
that
challenge.
Short window. He was leader for, what, 2 years?
Yes, but I mean, Rishi was a very competent chancellor, and in terms of the prime ministership, he took on a difficult economic situation, which he stabilised, and now we are in a situation where Labour inherited back to target inflation, the fastest growing economy in the G7. So Rishi achieved a lot, but it was a big ask of him as well.
Look, by recent standards, he was Conservative Party leader for a very long time. Remember, 49 days, Truss, etc. Why can't she just say, grateful to you, Rishi, but you failed? Wouldn't that be the start of the truth-telling? Well,
I think we've all said we have to have a very deep analysis of where we went wrong, because we've lost 2/3 of our MPs. We've lost the trust of the public. Okay. We have an enormous task to undertake to get that trust back, and we have a very bad government that we need to hold to account very ruthlessly. So there's a lot of work to do. All
right. She says she's going to unite the party, and she said yesterday that Robert Jenrick has a great future in the party. Presumably he's going to be part of the new team. What job would you like to see him have?
I'm not going to sit here, Trevor, whilst I suspect some of these conversations are underway and start speculating as to who's going to be taking which role. OK. Presumably we'll hear about all that tomorrow. Her campaign is pretty policy-light, and she's explained why that is. But she did win against an opponent who argued for 3 very specific policies: withdraw from the European Convention on Human Rights, reduce the number of visas issued to fewer than 10,000, 50% cut in international aid. Can we assume now that a Badenoch-led party wouldn't support any of those policies? I think what happened in the election, in the leadership election, was that we started talking about these things as if leaving the ECHR was an end in itself, and that's not the end that we are seeking. We are seeking lower immigration overall, and Kemi wants to take a very rounded approach to taking that immigration level down. That means looking at every aspect of the challenge. Leaving the ACHR may end up being one of those policy prescriptions. Visas may end up being one of those policy prescriptions. But what she doesn't want to do is to start writing a manifesto at this stage of the Parliament before we know what we are likely to be taking on at the next general election.
So withdrawing from the ECHR, still on the table?
Yeah, I think
cutting international aid, still on the table?
Well, throughout the leadership contest, she said that if that's what is required, that is what she will do.
How should the public then regard a Badenoch-led party? Since we know something about her character, which I'll come back to in a second, but we literally now have no idea what she might want her party to do if it were to return to government.
Kemi made very clear that the issue is if we keep putting out very detailed policy prescriptions at a time when the public fundamentally don't trust us to see them through, then we're not going to fix the fundamental challenge that faces us. As I say, the fundamental challenge is people have lost trust in our ability to do some of these things. We have to go back to basics, restate our values as a Conservative Party and win the trust back through our actions rather than simply just throwing lots of ideas out there and hoping that they'll stick.
OK, well, let's talk about some areas in which Kemi Badenoch has never been shy about throwing ideas out, in fact, nailing her colours to the mast. And one of them, of course, is the issues of identity politics, culture wars and so on. It's suggested this morning that we should change the name of our traditional honours from Order of the British Empire, for example, to the Order of British Excellence. Where's the Badenoch-led Conservative Party going to be on that?
I have to say, Trevor, I haven't seen that story, but my gut feeling is that she would be deeply sceptical towards that.
Why?
Because I think
we haven't got an empire anymore.
There's an implication that the empire is something that is a source of shame, and I don't think that she's ever thought that it is.
OK, but it's not a matter of whether it's a source of shame or not. It is a matter of whether it is the 21st century. I mean, I don't know if anybody's mentioned this, but I think we lost the empire some decades ago. Why stick with it?
Well, Trevor, as I say, I haven't seen this article and I haven't had a chance to discuss it with Kemi, so I'm not going to sit here and start putting words into her mouth. All
right. You know her pretty well. There are a few politicians of whose personality more is spoken. How can I put this delicately? Does part of the future for the new leader need to be a bit of a personality transplant, maybe a bit less blunt, a bit more emollient?
Why would that be necessary?
Because many of her colleagues say, and you know this, that she is abrasive, that she doesn't, if you like, in common parlance, stroke them enough. Some people say she's rude. I don't think that's true. I know her, but I don't think that's true. But she certainly gives that impression to many people. So, are we going to see a new Kemi Badenoch? Is she going to be nice to people?
Trevor, we're in a situation now where Kemi secured the most MP votes. Kemi also secured the most votes among the membership. People want to see politicians who are straight talking. She speaks with clarity, she speaks with truth. Now, she's already had a discussion in a different media outlet about how she might start to change some of the ways in which she deals with people if that's necessary. But I don't know that it's necessary right now.
All right, well, let's. I'll make a judgment on that when she finally deigns to do an interview with us. One last thing, and you'll understand why I asked this question. For the last, whatever it is, 18 hours or so, she has been consistently described in every media outlet as the new leader and the first black leader of a major political party. She herself has never mentioned that. Has she? Has her irritation levels hit the roof yet about this fact?
I don't think so. I just think, Trevor, we're now on to our fourth female leader, our second ethnic minority leader. And I think for our party, which is fundamentally united on the basis of meritocracy, just don't think it's that big a deal. Kemi won.
Why is everybody mentioning it all the time then?
I don't think we can dictate whatever other people discuss. I mean, people are looking at her appearance and making judgments on it. The point I'm trying to make is that she was elected because of her courage, her fearlessness, and the fact that her campaign resonated with the majority of members. So, you know, those kinds of issues are maybe important to some people, but I don't think they're fundamental to her.
OK, Julia Lopez, Shadow Culture Secretary for 24 hours or so. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Cheers.